Welcome back, guys. Tonight we are looking at a Fresh and Fit clip. I like to do Fresh and Fit clips because they have great questions and sometimes they have great debates. But Myron isn't able to get to the underlying issue of a lot of the causes because it's a discussion. So he doesn't have a chance to monologue and break this stuff down during these discussions. And this particular clip is vitally important for every man to understand. I'm going to get to the point here. This one is only about 5 minutes long. We're going to kind of break it up, but I'm going to get to the huge point that you need to understand, that every man needs to understand, and also every woman needs to understand. Because if you understand at the end of this video what I'm going to convey to you, I guarantee you it's going to change your life and make every single relationship that you're a part of easier. Men, you will learn how to see red flags and when to run. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this.
I think it's just you too.
All right, you know what? Hold on. We got 14,000 people in the chat right now. A bunch of dudes in here, right, from different parts of the world. Yo, guys, give me a 1 in the chat if masculine women are unattractive. All right? Give me a 1 in the chat if masculine women are unattractive.
Opinionated women are unattractive. Yes, that's what you're saying.
Opinionated.
Say opinionated. So you want just
opinionated. Half of the table didn't even get to answer the question.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna say this.
All ones.
No. Hold on. Because wait, I'm finna say this because I watched this movie. What is it called? Coming to America. He had got a bitch. His parents found him a pretty hoe.
That's a movie.
She was. I don't care. It's a good example. No, it's a great example. It's the best example. I'm gonna say this. He found himself a pretty woman. His parents found him a pretty woman.
Okay.
She was willing to do anything he said. All he had to do was tell her anything, and she was willing to do. He said, "Hop on one leg and bark like a dog," and she sat right there and hopped on that leg and barked like a dog. Did that man stay with her? No, he still went out to go find a bitch with her own mind, her own opinion, her own job, and her own shit going on, and made her the fucking princess.
It's a movie. This is crazy.
It's a good example.
She literally used the movie as an example. Yo, this is what I'm trying to say. Yo, Hollywood is indoctrinating women to make them think that being opinionated, non-agreeable, argumentative, competitive, a boss bitch, etc., they're lying to you. Men don't find these things attractive. The more masculine the man, the more feminine he wants his girl. The more masculine the woman, the less attractive she is to men in general. I'm sorry?
You just said I think you going Snow White. You just want submission.
Yeah, some bitches
Snow White.
What's up with the Disney references? Yo, ladies. Just like you don't want a dude that's a fucking pussy that can't protect you, we don't want a chick that's annoying and non-agreeable. You guys might say opinionated, but here's the thing. No offense, ladies. Your opinions have been incorrect for a majority of the show. We've stated objective facts.
In your opinion is not a fact.
I've given... Hold on. When I said single mother, I stated a fact earlier. I said single mother households are a large contributor to degeneracy. That is a fact.
Okay, but
that is not an opinion.
But look, you said that, right? But nobody did the study on who are the killers and all the people that came from households with two parents. Nobody did that study, though.
It does not change the fact.
But it doesn't change the fact nobody did that study.
Listen. Just because there are killers out there that come from two-parent households does not mean, okay, that a majority of the killers didn't come from single mother households. The thing is this.
But it doesn't mean they didn't.
Having a two-parent household simply decreases the chances that you're going to be a degenerate. So you not understand that.
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion. Okay. Let's jump in. Opinions. This is something that all men, you need to understand this. Because if the woman you're with does not understand and does not come, when you meet her, prepackaged with this, if you're not able to convey this to her and she doesn't accept it, so the best thing can happen is if she accepts the information I'm about to give you already, she comes prepackaged. She was raised in a household with a father, and she saw how her mother and father reacted to each other, how they worked together, and she accepts this. what we're about to go through. The second one is if you're able to convey what I'm about to convey to you, if you convey it to her and she accepts it and she moves that way for at least 6 months and you can tell she's not angry when she's doing it, if she's actually accepting it, that's the second best, but those are the only women you should marry. These are the only women you should be in a serious relationship with, and the only women that you should put yourself in a position where she has over a 5% chance of getting pregnant. Wearing a condom is not enough to deal with a lady who thinks like this. So let's go over this. Okay, let's do this. All right. First thing, let's look at definitions. First thing we're going to do is we are going to look at definitions. So let's close that. That's for next video. Okay. So opinion. It is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. Let's read it one more time. A view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. It's not based on fact. It's not based on knowledge. Okay? That's the first thing. So that's like, and then let's go to the next word. Let's go to the next one. Okay. We're going to go to the next one here. And by the way, everyone does have an opinion. Okay. Say, I have an opinion. All right. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think bread pudding is disgusting and no one should eat it ever. I think that it is. I don't know. I feel like, bread pudding is the devil, Bobby Boucher. Okay? It's disgusting. Don't eat it. That's my opinion. Somebody else eats it, that's cool. No problem. The next word that we're going to look at the definition of, ignorance, is just a lack of knowledge or information. So you don't have knowledge. You don't know. Okay? And you don't have, or information. So you might just have information. You might not know the information, but you convey it. You don't know it, but you're conveying it, right? Lack of information or lack of knowledge or information. So you have no information or knowledge. You're just guessing. You are ignorant. There is nothing wrong with being ignorant, okay? Everyone is ignorant. Brain surgeons are very ignorant people. You want to know why? Because they don't know how to put a man on the moon. They have no idea. But you know what? Rocket scientists are pretty ignorant as well because they have no idea how to do brain surgery. And those two guys, neither one of them may know how to work on a car. They might still have to take their vehicle to a mechanic. They are ignorant. That's the definition of the word. The connotation, not the definition, the connotation of the word is negative. But there is nothing wrong with being ignorant because most people are ignorant of most things, okay? I'm ignorant, and so is everyone watching this video, okay? Because most people don't know most things, unquote. Now, the problem with opinions, okay, especially today, the problem with opinions is that they come with a lot of self-righteousness, ego, and attitude. Big problem. Now, the question is, where did this all come from? Okay? Where did it all come from? All right? So, when you think about it, you think about empowerment, right? You think about empowerment. You think about women or minorities, whatever, right, that hits you. And you think about the right to be heard, the desire, the need to be heard, okay? And I'll say people don't know history. People have no idea about history. They'll talk about it a lot, especially women in terms of being oppressed, which is very interesting to me that Caucasian women will speak about being oppressed in this country for hundreds of years, and they'll say that to a black man. Blows my mind. It's like that they need to be able to speak and be free, but That the black, that's not even, whatever. Okay. That's another video. Okay. But they don't know history. Most of the context comes from entertainment. They couldn't tell you the parties of the First World War. They couldn't tell you that there's certain empire that was dissolved during the First World War. They can't tell you about why the Second World War was fought, the Civil War. They can't tell you about big things happening in the least bit. They'll have problems with their continents and their oceans. But you think about the entertainment, you think about empowered women, and you'll think about, some movie, some period piece, and it'd be in the 1700s, or maybe it's the Middle Ages, and they just, all of these idiot guys, just stupid men, left and right, everywhere you go. And there's this one brilliant young lady. This woman, she knows everything. She could save the whole world, cure the bubonic plague. She is going to stop the Romans from conquering this, or maybe she's going to bring enlightenment. And and she could do all of that, but the idiot men just won't listen to her. They shun her. They are just mansplaining. Those terrible, terrible, wicked men. They just don't pay attention to her. But if they just listen to her, just let her say what was on her mind, then, the whole world would be a better place. That's how they spin it in history. And as you see, and this is a big thing, a lot of ladies do take their examples for real life from movies. I've had it in personal conversations. The Color Purple, like Kevin Samuels was talking about, that's a historical documentary to black women. Okay? It's not a movie. Waiting to Exhale is not a movie. Those are historical documentaries. Like, okay? But a question, okay? So it's an opinion. So if you're making statements, because all an opinion is a statement based in ignorance. That's all it is. By definition, that's what it is. So, question, why should anyone listen to your statement that's based in ignorance? Because they tell you, a strong, opinionated woman, that's what's important. Be strong. They should listen to you. Your voice needs to be heard. This is what they tell ladies. But why don't they just define it? They have all these buzzwords. Why don't you just come out and say that, listen, everyone needs to listen to you, every statement that you make based in ignorance. Your ignorant statements should be respected and honored along with everything else. Okay? So, my opinions matter to me. Like I said, bread pudding is evil, 100%. It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's like mush. Right? That's my opinion. It's important to me. Certain clothes, I don't do skinny jeans. I think skinny jeans on men are absolutely horrible. Absolutely, on me in particular, right? Has no bearing on what anybody else is doing. All right. So so when should you share your opinion? Okay. So let's do this. Let's say you're at work. You're coming in. A customer comes in. They've never worked. They've never done what you've done before, right? They've never done what you've done before. They don't know your job. But they start telling you what to do and how to do it and saying things that are against company policy, possibly even against the law, and asking you, can you do this? And say, yeah, somebody else did it for me before. And they're just giving you all their opinions. What's your reaction to that? Probably negative, okay? So let's say you got a mechanic, okay? Let's say if it's a guy, this it's not just for ladies, okay? This is for guys too. Let's say if you walk into a shop, you don't know anything about fixing the car. You took your car to the mechanics, okay? And there's 3 mechanics right there talking about your car, and you walk up and you just say, you know what? Why don't you just do a transmission flush on it? The problem is with the brakes. No, why don't you just you know what? Why don't we could just do this? Those brakes are too big. I like these brakes. We'll put them on there. They'll say, no, whoa. If you want us to work on your vehicle, we can, but we're not going to do something that's going to damage it. Okay, they're gonna tell you to stop, chill. And if you keep going, they'll probably just ask you to leave and not take. I'm billing you for what you got. You out of here, ladies. If you got your nails done and the man came up and he started telling you, no, those the nails that you have, no, you know, you should have got the square ones, the longer ones, about 2 inches. You're going to a wedding, right? You should have got one instead. You should have got teddy bears on it. Just imagine your ex or your current boyfriend, your husband, giving you tips and coming in and talking to you like they know about women's fashion, what you should wear, what you should say. And more importantly, the biggest example is that one chick that was being passive aggressive, you could see that he had no idea. He's telling you need to listen to his advice. You're like, no, you don't know. You're making a statement based on ignorance. You're not going to want to listen to that. Right? So, but just imagine those customers that come in, those terrible customers that come in telling you to do ridiculous things, voicing their opinions. Imagine you're a man and you have to go home to that customer that wants to volunteer their statements based in ignorance when you know, because the thing about this is one of the tenets of feminism. Okay, one of the tenets of feminism is you need to be heard. You have a voice and it should be heard, and it is powerful, and others need to hear it. And if they don't want to hear it, they are scared, they are insecure, which couldn't be further from the truth. They're more like just annoyed, because they have gassed women up today to tell them that their statements based in ignorance, if they don't get to share them, if other people don't respect them that's on the same level of knowledge, okay. Here we go. A fact, a thing that is known or proved to be true. So, when you talk and you speak with a woman and you're using one of these, they have been taught that one of these is equal to one of these. And not in some cases it goes so far to where it is not that one of these equals one of these. It is that these things are one in the same. That there is no such thing as a fact. There is only my truth. Look at this. This is perfect. A pretentious substitute for non-negotiable personal what? Opinion. That is the best. That is the absolute best definition I've ever seen. For the love of God. Pretentious substitute for non-negotiable personal opinion. That's what they are. That's their truth. Their non-negotiable personal opinion is indeed a fact. This is the number one thing that you have to check for when you're dealing with women. And ladies, when you deal with men. But more so, unfortunately, it comes from the ladies. You have to understand if that woman knows the difference between an opinion and a fact emotionally. Now, if you talk to her, she's going to understand. Yeah, she will. You can intellectualize this. But when she's upset, when she feels something, okay, does an opinion equal a fact to her in an argument, in a discussion, in her worldview? If these two things are equal, you have a problem. I'm going to say it one more time. If these two things are equal, you have a problem. Because what she did, these two things are equal. Because what she did is she basically takes this, puts it in the middle. There's no such thing as an opinion. There's no such thing as a fact. Anything you say is an opinion. That's just how you feel about it. But her truth is her reality, is her fact. If this is how, whether she used these words or not, if she treats opinions as facts, you got a problem. If she is a feminist, she most likely does. Today's feminist, she most likely does. And as you see in this video, this is the underlying issue. Okay, their beliefs, that's cool. You could believe something erroneous, but when someone comes to you and they state facts and they give you a rational argument and you come back with your truth and opinion, that's next level. If these women that you are dealing with, or if the men that you're dealing with don't know the difference between these two, then you have serious problems that need to be addressed. You cannot force someone to emotionally, you cannot force a woman to emotionally accept that her opinions are not facts, are not her truth. You cannot do that. She has to understand that herself. You can try to explain that to her. You can show her this video. Might work, might not. But if she doesn't understand the difference, like the ladies on this panel do not, then you have serious problems. This is the number one indicator for me. If the person that you're dealing with is a wife or not. Okay, just in conversation. This is one of the number one things. One of the number one. Okay, this is definitely, I say, in the top three. If she knows this, because if not, you're gonna have this conversation. Because women today, once again, women today have been built up to believe that sharing their opinions, being opinionated and strong. Think about that. Think about the definition of an opinion one more time. Being a person that aggressively, in a moralistically superior way, you are morally superior with ego and aggression and all the pride of the feminist movement behind her. She thinks it's her job to come in and throw her opinions at you. And if you don't accept her opinions on an equal level with your opinions, because there are no facts, there are only opinions, then you are a problem. And you have a problem communicating. You hear that a lot? Women say, he has a problem. These men, what's the biggest? They don't know how to communicate. That means that when they give you an opinion, okay, if you don't know how to communicate, men need to know how to communicate. They need to know how to communicate. That means when I give you an opinion, you need to understand that it is my truth and it is a non-negotiable personal opinion that not just her, not her, but you need to take on as your non-negotiable, meaning it needs to become your truth, meaning that in the context of you two, it needs to actually become a fact, whether it's true or not, because she feels it. You got problems. And that's a lady that you need to run from. Like the ladies on this podcast, the men that are around them need to run. You do not deal with this. And you protect yourself from this. This is how you get destroyed. Okay? But feminism, the ideas, push this narrative on women. And so they have their ego, which if you watch my videos, you're going to know my thing is women today have had their self-esteem, their self-respect and self-love taken away from them. And all they have is ego. And they think stroking their ego is self-love. That's what they think it is. That's why they're always on self-love journeys to find this and doing this self. Like you don't do that if you like yourself, because you like yourself. You're not on a journey to like yourself. Jesus. If you got money, you're not on a journey to make your first million. You already made it. You're not on but they're always on a journey to find their love, and they're always looking for happiness because they don't have it within themselves because it's been replaced. And all they have is ego. And if you don't accept their truth, their facts, their worldview, If their truth doesn't become your truth, doesn't become our truth, then they're gonna have a problem with you, and you're gonna have a problem. So, you need to understand that. And when you talk to a woman, you need to decipher real quick if she understands the difference between an opinion and a fact, and if she lives in her truth, because that'll be a problem. Every man needs to understand that. Let's listen. Let's finish this video out, and then we can touch on that a little bit more, and then we'll hop out of here. Okay, let's minimize that. Let's go.
Wait, but I have a question.
What do you mean? It's a fact.
That's an opinion because they didn't do the opposite stats.
And what's your question?
How do you know?
Huh? How do you know they didn't do?
We Googled it. She just arguing to argue, bro.
Y'all took my phone. I can't Google that.
Wait, hold on. We were arguing. You don't know. We know.
But y'all Googled that answer. Y'all didn't turn around and Google
No one's looking at Google. No one's looking at Google.
Y'all already did the research on that answer, though.
Yo, so why are you arguing?
Because
like you don't know anything.
But I don't have to know that there's two sides to every story.
All right, what two sides? All right, look, the killers are in jail right now. Is that what he said?
Yes,
They're in jail. So they got.
She says, I don't have to know. Opinion. Literally. She literally says, I don't have to know. All I know is I don't like what you're saying. Oh. There we go. Yeah.
They got caught.
And then what about people that was falsely accused? They interviewed them too?
What the fuck? If they're falsely accused, they're locked up, right?
They was interviewed too.
Okay, so once again, he's saying the majority who's caught in jail.
Oh my God.
That's what he's saying. He's being law enforcement.
I just don't know why you're arguing.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not arguing. But you guys saying like, okay, opinionated women are giving off masculine.
No.
Men are attracted to masculine. No. And then you said you gave me as an example from what we talked about earlier, saying that me being opinionated about facts or whatever, like.
There is no opinion. What we stated before is a fact. Single mother households are the leading contributor to degenerate societies. That's a fact.
Okay.
And you sit here and say, well, I don't think so because there's some people that came from two-parent households that are fuck-ups too. Cool. That still does not change the fact that overwhelmingly the fuck-ups that are in society come from single mother households. Are there some losers out there that come from two-parent households that are still fuck-ups? Yes. However, having two parents significantly mitigates the chances of you being a fuck-up. All right? That is a fact. That is not an opinion. So if we're going to have a discussion here, we need to be on the same ground footing that a fact is independently verifiable, not an opinion. All right? We got to have higher IQ conversations here. So I don't know what you mean when you say opinion. That's a fact.
Okay, there we go. So, when you're dealing with a lady, and this is real life, this is every day, and I guarantee, ladies, if you talk to a man and you ask them, you go to the man, ladies, if you want to know if you have this issue, you go to a man and you say, hey, does it seem like I know the difference between my opinion and like what's real, what's a fact? Does it seem like I know the difference sometimes, or does it seem like sometimes I get them mixed up? Or if you are having problems and you're having problems, you're afraid your guy won't be honest, because a lot of men won't be honest with you because they know you're most likely get upset. So you could go to a guy and you could just say, hey, have you ever talked to like a girl and she doesn't seem like she knows the difference between an opinion and a fact? Like she has her opinion and she thinks her opinion is like the real world. He's going to be sitting there thinking and looking at you like you. And when he says yes, be like, I do that sometimes too, right? And then ask him and then think about the last argument you had and then go through it. And don't get upset with him. Don't attack him. But men, you all know what I'm talking about. It happens all the time. And they truly believe we find this attractive. It's like the men like it. Well, you know what? Tell them, Christmas is coming up. Holidays are coming up. Why don't you go home into your dad, and why don't you go and get rid of just anything that you disagree with him with? You just share your opinion. Just get all in his face, be loud and belligerent like she did on the podcast, like you do with your boyfriend, and see how he likes that. But better yet, why don't you go next time you go to work and your boss gives you a directive? Why don't you go ahead and let him know about your opinions in that aggressive, superior way that you like to do it, that in matter-of-fact way, because men love when you do that. So why don't you go find all the men in your life and go do that with so you can build some really good relationships with them. It's completely absurd. No, men don't like when anyone comes to them with an opinion, with a statement based in ignorance, and demand that they respect it the same as the knowledge that they hold. They do not. Men find out if the lady you're with knows, if she understands that. Because the last thing I'll mention on this is that women are emotional creatures. Okay? Men are more rational. They're more logical. All right? Because that's how we evolved. Women feel the words. Men live muted lives. I don't know if you ever heard it like this, but this is how I like to explain it. Because men live muted lives. Our emotions are turned down when we're raised properly. When we have a 2-parent household, got a strong male figure. A lot of guys with single moms they're in a heightened emotional state. They're unstable. But men are turned down. Our emotions are turned down. Women have better sense of smell for the most part. Women see more colors than men. Women have a greater and a deeper. They feel emotions on the broader range and more deeply than men do. So we live in a world with the lights turned down a bit. That way we can actually handle the hard things. This is why you're biologically wired to find a man that's turned down enough on the emotional side, on the sensory side, so that he doesn't mind working those 80-hour work weeks, chasing down a wildebeest and fighting and putting his life on the line to protect you. Because all of those, the fear that you see when you got a dark figure in the backyard or trying to come in the front door, we're not allowed to have that. We're not supposed to have that. If we felt the same way you do, how can we protect you, right? How can we protect you at that point? So we live turned down, okay? And so that allows us, because our emotions are turned down, it allows us to be more rational, okay? Because just the way that we have evolved. So women are just a bit less rational than their male counterparts. So a lot of guys scream and say women are crazy. No. Women are not crazy. When they get emotional, they're just less rational than men. And that's where this issue comes in. The powers that be understand that, and they run with it. And they have set women on a warpath with the men in their life by telling them, listen, when you are in a heightened emotional state, the things that you feel and that you want to say, they need to be heard. Even if you don't know, like she said that she did not know. I don't know. I don't have to know. The only thing that they need to know is they have words and feelings that you need to accept. This is what communication is all about. And I'll say something that is probably going to be super controversial. If a woman says the biggest problem with men is they don't communicate, that's a red flag and you shouldn't deal with that woman. If a woman says she wants a man that knows how to communicate, then that woman, what she's doing is exactly what I showed before. She's living in her truth. And her opinions are facts to her, and they should be facts to you as well. That's how it works. That's the problem. If she says she needs someone to communicate, that means that when she speaks, the world that, you see, words are supposed to clarify for me, and this is one thing. So you can tell people this. Your words should clarify your action and intent, okay? They should clarify your actions, intent, and desire. They should not create reality. Women today want to create worlds with their words. And they think the more that you let them talk, the more the world is created. The more that they get out there, it's real now if you don't challenge it. And that's a problem. But if a woman says that she wants a man that can communicate, I'm not even going to talk about emotional intelligence. Just communicate. If she says, I want a man that communicate, red flag, run, get out. What do you mean by that? Well, when I talk to him and tell him how I feel, when I share my opinions, I want him to understand. Understand means you stand under. That you stand under what she says. Under the authority, under the power, under the directive, under the understanding. That becomes your reality. That's what that means. When women say that, that is what that means. So if a woman says that, ask her what she means, and then kindly thank her for the call, decline the date, and move on. But okay, that's it from me tonight. So go ahead, and if you agree with what I said, drop a note in the comments. If you've never heard it put that way, okay. If you've noticed it, drop it in the comments. Tell me about your experiences, okay. Tell me if I was spot on with this, or if I'm just way the hell off, okay? But at any rate, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and I think from this exact same podcast, I got another one that's going up tomorrow about their comments about, wanting to have children with no husband. Insane. Okay, that's enough. Next.